free. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
He gets Brian Russell with a quick crossover. Look at Brian Russell slips, and Michael pulls up and buries the shot to give him a 1-point lead.
That may have been. Who knows what will unfold in the next NBA.
Watch Jordan's left hand here as he gives Russell the push. The referee can't see that. Jordan frees himself up for a clean look. The greatest thing about Jordan is he has.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Everybody, Mr. Moss here. I got a guest on today, my guy, Hoop God 23. I got a chance to talk a little basketball, be on a panel with him, and he knows his sports. And so we want to do a live breakdown of the 1998 NBA Finals, Game 6, the iconic Game 6, right? You know, MJ, quick layup, steals it, hits the shot of shots. And so for me, one of the most iconic sequences in basketball history. So, okay, so we had him on there. So, okay, cool. Here he goes, right here. Here he is.
All right. My apologies. And I think
it's all good, man. You good? Yeah, you good. So, for you guys who don't know, this is Hoop God 23. He's on various platforms. He's a guy who actually knows basketball, breaks it down. You know, I like to say, you know, let's get back to old school NBA analysis. You know, not this new age box score, you know, artificial NBA talk where we're pushing agendas and narratives and changing how we view players. And so we want to kind of give the people an insight on Game 6, 1998, the iconic Michael Jordan game, his last game in Chicago, and kind of just break down, you know, that game. We're definitely going to dive deep into the last 45 seconds. You know, for me, probably one of the most iconic Hoop God. Probably, I can't think of another sequence in sports, let alone basketball. You know, you win your 6th championship, you hit the game-winning shot. Your individual greatness is highlighted in every way, shape, and form. You steal the ball, right? You get the quick layup, understanding time, pace, and score. And then Phil doesn't even call it timeout, right? He's just, I've never seen a bench so cool, calm, and collective. Hoop God in that moment. Go watch Phil Jackson in that moment, right? You got players laying on the floor when MJ steals the ball from Karl Malone, and you can tell that they've done all the prep work in practice. Yep. You know, Phil talks about, I don't coach in games, right? That's been done in practice, right? So when the moment becomes the moment, it's like, you know, it's muscle memory. And so you can introduce yourself and kind of, you know, share a little bit of, you know, your basketball acumen. When did you start watching hoop? What's your favorite teams, etc. I'll pass it to you, bro.
Oh yeah, I sincerely appreciate the introduction, man. Yeah, I'm a man of few words. I kind of like to sprinkle a little bit of MCing in with the basketball discussion. So now I'm kind of, you know, I'm on the record of saying, hey, let's kill the cap, much like what you said earlier about let's get back to old school basketball, because I started watching basketball as an adolescent with my father in the early 90s. Now, granted, did I understand basketball to the extent that I do now? Of course not. I'm just looking and I'm just seeing, right? So even being a youngster and seeing like, hey, that guy at 23 is like awesome. I just know he's good, right? That right there set a precedent for me, right? And then you seen all the other guys who follow suit. Like, I'm going to name my favorite players, Allen Iversons, the Kobe Bryants, the D Wades. You know, once I got to high school and trying to, you know, mimic your game, and don't let me forget T-Mac neither. Those were the guys I emulated. But I had enough understanding to know that they're not better than Michael Jordan, right? And now it's kind of like the media has just did a complete 180 from being unbiased and just giving you the cold hard facts, that now that they're just, in so many words, they're just worshiping one particular player, you know, because that's who they want the public to be inundated with. And it's kind of like, y'all really gonna sit here and question our common sense? Like, we don't what you're telling us, like the hype is not on par with production. See, the difference between Michael Jordan, even if you hyped him up, he always went above and beyond that, right?
Yes.
That was the difference.
Great point.
So
Great point.
I'm
You
looking
can never, you can never set a limit or a standard for MJ, and he wasn't willing to run through a wall to prove you wrong. Like he lived for moments like that. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite Jordan quotes was when, remember in the documentary The Last Dance, Tex Winters comes in and says, "Hey man, like change your shoes," or something like that. Like you're slipping and sliding everywhere. And Jordan says, "Relax. Only thing slipped is I'm a slide this ring on your finger tonight." You know? And
Man.
so the confidence, right? The confidence of MJ. It's one thing to say it. It's one thing to actually go out and do it, right?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man. And so, so that 1998 series, how old was you?
So let's see, 1998. I was turning 12, so I was still 11. My birthday is August the 20th, so I turned 12 that year, but I'm 11, right? And I'm playing all-star baseball, but I'm well aware that the finals are going on because we're talking, amongst all-star. You got a certain group, they want to see the Jazz win. I'm like, y'all tripping. Y'all think Jordan ain't gonna win this? Like, okay.
Right.
I'm 11 years old. So the fact that he had that much impact on children, people my age, that just shows you right there that nobody has still came close to that. I would say, okay, Kobe, 3P Kobe to me is he reminded me of 3P MJ in the second 3P. So the 07 version of Kobe to 2010 to me, that's who I can say, okay, nobody reminds me of that first Jordan, nobody. But you say that second iteration, the mental, just cerebral, executing, like going out there executing, but also capitalizing on your mistakes. I'm like, Kobe came closest to that. And I've heard Mark Jackson say that. I've heard all the great defenders who played against. Watch this right quick. You have defenders who played against all three of these guys, and they're telling you MJ, Kobe, LeBron. You have Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp, who've never played organized basketball, trying to put LeBron over them. Like, y'all disrespectful. That's like pompous to, just be that arrogant to try to out-talk somebody who has more experience. I'm like, Shannon Sharp, if I come to you and say, hey, you're the fifth greatest tight end because these guys got better numbers, he look at me like I'm crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And it's fun because it's almost like they think we're stupid, right? You're throwing these players in my face, and then you're trying to downgrade other guys. You know what I'm saying? You talk about MJ and Kobe being more cerebral, thinking the game, right? Less athletic, but still, same production to a certain degree and making you pay, right? And that comes from film preparation, putting in the work, trusting your skill set. I've never seen two guys in Kobe and MJ make a defense pay to that degree, and they're willing to make you pay every single time. They never let you off the hook. And for me, that's where those two guys stand alone. They just kept coming at you, right? They just kept coming. There was no give up, right? There's certain guys who are great, right? As good as T-Mac was, right? And let me tell you, man, I'm a huge T-Mac fan. Probably one of the most skilled players ever. But there's games where he lets you off the hook, right? Yeah. There was a interview with Jim Jackson, the Clippers play-by-play guy, and he's on the panel with Nick Wright, who got. And Nick Wright's trying to blast Kobe and say he doesn't belong in the conversation, blah, blah, blah. But Jim Jackson says, I played against all these guys. Like Kobe and MJ, they weren't going to let you off the hook. LeBron will let you off the hook, Yeah. And so, listen, we'll get to all that if you have time. But the 1998 NBA Finals, let me see here. So I was 15 years old. So I'll be 42 next month. So I'm giving my age away here.
Yeah, so we're in the same. Okay, we're in the same era. Okay.
Yeah, but at 15 though, I knew the sport. I knew basketball. Yeah. I prided myself on, understanding the game and breaking it down and still having an eye for the game. Obviously, I can talk it a lot better now though. So in that game, I'm not going to lie. Utah had home court, remember? Yeah. They won game one. And after game one, the consensus was, The Bulls that just came off a grueling 7-game series versus Indiana Pacers. Again, that they probably should have lost, right? But MJ's greatness in the fourth quarter stood tall. I remember in just that series, the media, like, they knew it was MJ, but they were leaning towards Utah. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Utah, I'm not sure if they were the favorites, but people weren't as confident for the last dance in 98, that they were in years prior. And the Jazz were tough, right? They kept coming. They kept running offense, right? I've never seen a team for so long consistently not get bogged down, not get confused, not panic. Like John Stockton, I'm a big John Stockton fan. They just run offense, and they trust what they're doing, right? Down 15, 10, whatever the case may be. And so I remember game 6, man, I was so nervous because Scottie wasn't playing well to me, right? Scottie wasn't playing well. Remember, the Bulls had that big lead. Was it game 3 or 4? I think they won by 42 points. It was like 90 something to like 54, something like that. Very low scoring game. And so, but I knew that from a scoring standpoint, the Bulls need to put up points. We knew that they weren't going to break 100 points because those are just low scoring games. But Tony Kukoc was okay. I thought Kerr was good. Dennis and Karl Malone fought the whole series. But those pesky, the Antoine Carrs, the John Stocktons, the Brian Russells, right? Guys like that, the Hornaceks, they're pesky. They defend and they're physical. People often say, Jordan played versus these old white boys. No, he didn't. I mean, he played against high IQ basketball players, if they were white or black. And I think Hornacek and John Stockton, I don't think the TV did it justice. I think that if you were on the court and in the game, you can feel their presence, and spaced you out very well. But I just remember the first quarter, the Bulls got off to a pretty good start, right? Things like 15-7 or like 19 to something like that. But I remember Scottie, he gets an entry pass from Ron Harper and he pulls his back. And I was like, uh-oh, that didn't look good. And we know back injuries are crippling, right? And so we'll take it quarter by quarter, man. I mean, just give me your thoughts going into game 6, knowing that game 7 was back in Utah. So for me, this is probably a must win. I'm not saying Jordan couldn't do it, but odds were in his favor. Like, as that game is getting started, like, give me your thoughts.
So when you say, pardon me, it's game 6, but when you were speaking, I had a thought. If memory serves me correct, the Utah Jazz swept them in the regular season head to head, because remember, Scottie didn't play the first part of the season because he was sitting out, granted trying to get his money, which I feel like MJ was justified by saying, "You're Scottie, you're being selfish." But hey, that's not here nor there. So you're taking that this team has beaten you in the regular season. Granted, the stakes are higher in the playoffs. So customarily, don't they have a mental edge over you? But again, we're talking about Michael Jordan, right?
Right.
When you say Sun Tzu, the art of war, because I put some of that in basketball as well. Like, I use the art of war with basketball and boxing, a little bit in football, not so much in baseball. But those two, you can see the art of war, because, like you said, it's the confidence, right? Even when you're weak, appear strong. So what is Jordan essentially telling his teammates? Hey, we might be on our last limbs. Pippen might be dealing with a bad back. Hey, we the goddamn champs. They got to beat us. Until they beat us, we're the champs, right? So what's the opposite effect? Well, when you're strong, appear weak. So I'm looking at that like game 6. We know MJ's mantra. Ain't no game 7s. So we coming out here, we getting the job done, right? It's the team goes as the leader goes. So they get out on the court, right? And it's back and forth. And what you mentioned about the Utah Jazz, this is what I tell people when they try to say, "Oh, those little white boys." I'm like, okay, those little white boys, they swept Shaq and Kobe, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones. That's 4 All-Stars. I'm like, those little white boys, well, they gentlemen swept Tim Duncan and David Robinson, the Twin Towers. I'm like, those little white boys also knocked off the Houston Rockets that had
my Rockets,
right. So I'm like, those little white boys clearly could play some basketball. And like you said earlier, they always kept the floor balanced and they were always in control because you had a great floor general. Now, just to segue a little bit, a lot of people say, "Oh, John Stockton, the little kids mainly say he's not a top 5." I'm like, I just tune that out. I'm like, okay, he didn't win any championships, so I'm not going to make excuses for that. He went against the greatest player of all time. I said, so you have to tell me, you have to give me a legitimate reason why is he not in the 3 through 5? Because he has more scoring titles per game than any other point guard. He's only second to Magic in assists per game.
Right.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, since all of these accumulative stats are being just put on this pedestal, why is he not up there when he's number 1 in freaking total assists? It's like they will move goalposts for whatever narrative they're trying to push. And then when you call that out, watch this. They'll say you're nitpicking. No, I'm challenging the BS that you're talking, and I'm providing details on why what you're saying is BS. So I'm looking at this like when they say this about Stockton, I asked him, how much film have you watched on John Stockton? What is his best game? What is his worst game? See, when I ask that question, I know I'm not going to get a legit answer. So that's why I'm like, all right, let's move on. Because when I'm seeing John Stockton, like you said, take it back to game 6. There were times where, like you said, I think he was gambling. And there was times where he was executing. But when we get to the sequence that Michael Jordan got the ball, also MJ was playing some cat and mouse, right? He was. Right. There were times he would double down. There was times that he wouldn't. And like you said, that previous play, I think he allowed MJ to clear out. But I think it's like now this is crunch time. And I think they desperately wanted a basket. So I think, and like I said, I'm just trying to like put myself in Stockton's shoes. Okay,
I got you. That's fair.
Right. So I'm like, okay, we got a chance to go up on these guys. Let's try to get a quick 2 for 1, right? And on the Bulls. But this is where he miscalculated, like you said earlier. He attempted to rush, not knowing that Michael Jordan, like I said, when you say he's the best player on offense and defense, every stat is not going to show that. So now he sees when Stockton makes the pass, right? So instead of following his man, Michael Jordan, presence of mind, no game 6. I'm going to get this ball and get a 2 for 1. Absolutely, he does. I mean, to Karl Malone's credit, I got Karl Malone top 5 power forward. If anybody wants to say he's 5th, cool. If you want to say he's 2nd, cool. But he's in that category for me.
Absolutely.
For him to get that steal, go down, convert on the shot. Like you have to have that to that level of comfort, like you said, being in the moment. That's only maybe about 5 people cut like that. Okay, those moments.
If that, and if that, man.
And for him to go down and execute that play, some people can call me cap, but I'm telling y'all now, it looked like he rehearsed that moment because I didn't see a misstep. I didn't see, how some guys kind of like, they don't know what they're about to do. But like, prime example, I'm a segue. When Kyrie hit that shot against the Warriors, did he look like he is just done that on the fly, or had he done that?
He's done that before. Yeah.
That's the point.
Second nature, I call it.
That's my point. So when I see Michael Jordan do that, I'm like, okay, they've rehearsed something similar to know we're going to be in a position like this, and I have to execute. And when he comes down, right, he kind of like Byron Russell said he pushed off, but hey, ref didn't call it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? In football, they say there's holding every play in football. Ref don't call it.
Absolutely, man. And for me, as MJ steals the ball, you got Bob. See, I'm in the details, man. Like when I go to games here in soccer, I didn't go tonight to the Dallas game, but I look at things like half the time I'm watching players off the ball. I'm watching guys in timeouts. I'm watching guys coming out of timeouts. I'm watching guys body language, if they didn't get the ball. Because you see a lot of little small things in the arena that you don't see on TV. Yeah. And so for me, not only was the shot iconic that moment, I thought Bob Costas did an awesome job,
Yes.
17 seconds, game 6 or game 7 or championship number 6. Yeah. Even Bob Costas knew what the moment was, and then for me, I go back and again, small things here. I look at the Bulls bench and just how calm they were.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. Most coaches, timeout, and let's come draw something up. The defense can get set. It makes it tougher, right? Excuse me. Go ask Dennis Rodman. He says, man, I planted myself right over there. Jordan ain't passing the ball to Steve Kerr Paxson. Like, he's taking that damn shot. They asked Scottie Pippen, get the hell out the way and let this man dance. You know what I'm saying? You make a great point on John Stockton, though. You know, maybe he was going 2 for 1. And Utah had ran that play a few times in the game, right? They ran it a few times.
Yeah.
And the Bulls didn't always cover it the same way.
Yeah.
And so now that you say what you said, you know, I have to take that. I have to take heed, and that changed my perspective a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even with that being said, John can still see. And also, too, John threw the ball on his right side where Jordan has to clear out through a little bit. I thought he could have threw the ball a little bit inside. But with that being said, Dennis did a great job. He was on Carl's left side heavy, you know?
Yeah.
And so those are all small details that guys don't even address. Ball placement, timing, everything, right? Those things matter when you're on the fly. And so for me, you know, he steals the ball. But don't you think the layup, that quick 2-point shot with 45 seconds left, to me, that was a tougher shot for MJ than the shot heat over Brian Russell. You talk about, did the Bulls rehearse this before? I would think so. Or MJ always talked about the Bulls had strong leadership at the top, and it filters down to the rest of the guys. And so there's a movie that Jordan has called it's IMAX with Jordan, and they highlight that specific sequence with him stealing the ball and coming up court, and Costas goes, 17 seconds. And MJ says, I've already played this in my head 1,000 times. And I practice and I put the work in over the years, right? I trust what I've done when nobody's around. So when the moment, because for me, I talk a lot about the fourth quarter winning time, and there's a phrase I use, who got the moment becomes the moment. Like, listen, there's a time in the game, there's a time in the game where the moment becomes the moment, right? Yeah. Where it's you and just go. And so MJ talks about that. And so when you say, has he rehearsed it? I'm not sure he rehearsed that particular play, but he's rehearsed the moment. Because you got to take into account too. I would love to pick his brain and say, man, like, give me your nerves in that moment. Were you nervous? Like, which I don't think he was. You know what I'm saying? And did you see how MJ didn't even look towards field to call a timeout? MJ just got the basketball and just went. So it's almost like they were already like, that's the confidence that, Phil Jackson had in Michael. And so, it's just, you can't put it into words, what that game, what that moment meant. And I always go back to that game with Isaiah Thomas and the way Isaiah Thomas praised him during and after the game. And then after that, he just goes off the rails and says other stuff. But we got you on tape saying he's the greatest player ever, and then you put Kareem above him after that. So I don't know, man, but crazy.
So
man.
I want to chime in on Zeke because I think
he's crazy, bro.
It confounds people that we speak so highly of Michael Jordan that I think they would automatically think, that I would denigrate him. No, I actually love Isaiah Thomas, right? Yeah. I love the bad boys because somebody got to wear the black hat, right? It's just like in wrestling. You had Hulk Hogan, but then you had Ric Flair. Or if you had Bret Hart, you had Shawn Michaels. You had The Rock, you had stuff. Somebody got to wear the black hat. So when I'm looking at it, right, I'm like, okay, the Pistons were the bad boys. Now, granted, this is my football team. I love the Raiders. Why? They were the bad boys. So I'm like, okay, I think Isaiah Thomas, and I'm just going back, playing it back. Okay, you shook hands with Kevin McHale, but you didn't pay that same respect. Even if you didn't want to shake Jordan's hand, cool, go shake Bill Cartwright's hand or go shake Stacey King. Shake somebody's hand. But it's like what he doesn't understand, the optics of Larry Bird and all them walking out, they were on their bench. Zeke, you guys literally walked by the Bulls. And then you kind of did this little, move where you look like you ducking him. Like, if you take two people who don't know anything, like, let's just take you and I. We don't know what's going on. Bro, why is he ducking that man? Like, is he scared of him? Bro, all those times y'all beat Michael Jordan, beat his head in. What did he do? Shook hand. Hey, good luck. Keep going. Eventually you're going to lose. So it's like you have to have that sportsmanship, that gamesmanship to just go. Even if you want to fake shake the man's hand, like, hey, man, I think that single ruined his Olympic spot. Because I promise you, had he showed that humbleness, that would have changed Johnson's perspective. It would have changed Larry Bird's perspective, Barkley. Now, Pippen might have still had some bitterness. Granted, we know it was just
right.
But everybody else, I think they would have been like, okay, man, let's get this guy a break. Yeah, he dirty and all this, but at least he did shake the man's hand when he lost. So
you think he was a better fit than John?
I don't think he was a better fit than John. Right? No, okay. But the thing is, they had. So let's look at it like this: you had Magic, that's a point guard. You had Stockton, point guard. Now Pippen was a hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. But I would say this: what the hell is Christian Laettner doing there over Isaiah Thomas? Even if you have to bring a college kid, which I don't agree with, but yeah, why is he there and Isaiah isn't? Because I'm legitimate. I'm of the mindset you could put Isaiah out there with a Jordan or with a Magic. I mean, hell, they played in the All-Stars together, so I don't see a difference. But I just think that single moment and the optics of it is what ultimately put the death nail. Because I think he would have had a legitimate case to be like, somebody would have been like, you know what? Isaiah shook Jordan's hand. Come on, man. Let's bring him on, guys. I think we can make it work, but just to not do that, and you got to think, Michael Jordan the kind of guy, damn. So 3 straight years you beat me, I shake your hand. Michael Jordan is unforgiving. He don't let nothing go. So it's kind of like
MJ to this day has Zeke the number 2 best point guard ever. I mean, MJ already says, listen, as a basketball player, I respect Isaiah Thomas. He's after Magic, I go right to Isaiah. And so I commend MJ on that. MJ's always taken the high road in most of these conversations. He's never really touched it, really. It's been Zeke trying to further this thing along, and MJ is so beyond that. I mean, I hear Charles Oakley touching this topic.
Living his life like Zeke.
Come on, man. Yeah, let it go. I saw Zeke on NBA TV and did he have a stroke or something? You saw that?
He said he got suffering from Bell's palsy, if I'm saying it right.
His whole mouth is like droopy and
it's a condition that he can get better from.
Okay, good. That's a blessing.
I heard. Matter of fact, he was on the Come and Talk to Me with Mark Jackson and his son, and the way he, like when somebody talking, they kind of smack after every word. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I heard him. He was with Grant Hill talking, and it didn't sound right. I've seen that Mark Jackson podcast with his son. His son is lost. His Mark Jackson's son is one of these younger kids, and LeBron can do no wrong in his eyes. 2 things stand out to me after MJ makes a shot. They show a quick glimpse into the Bulls huddle, and this is where I mean, coaching and preparation matters. Tex Winter says, be cautious. Utah beat Houston on a play last year with Stockton. Remember, he used to 3 at top of the key. Yeah. He goes down and he wraps around hoop guy and comes up through a screen top of the key, and he's normally wide open. Phil Jackson, he's looking on set. He says, Harper, right? Phil was just awkward in himself. And he says, you got that? And so the preparation of the Chicago Bulls, and it just speaks to leadership, right? I'm a big guy in sport. Like, leadership for me goes a long way. And being accountable and making sure the guys are prepared. And then I would say after the game, when we know the game's in the balance and it's over and MJ wins the title and Bob Costas is giving MJ all his praise and they're doing what they do. I mean, they're talking about him. And MJ has a moment because if you watch after the game, MJ is being berated just by like people, right? They're hugging him, MJ fans, whatever, right? Or some guys on their staff, I guess. And there's a moment where MJ has a slight moment to himself. And I'm gonna ask you a question. And this is things that I just pay attention to. What do you think he says to himself in that moment? So it's like a quick moment, probably like 2 seconds. He's like, he's by himself and he's thinking. I can tell he's thinking. He looks up and the camera catches his mouth. What do you think he said?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he acknowledged his father. Like he said something to him.
Close. Listen, when you get a chance, just watch it. He goes, "Where's my mother?" Like you can see it. He goes, "Where's my mother?" He's looking for her because at that game, his sister, and because remember his sister went to NC as well with him and graduated after him. And so the mom and sister met him like half on the court, and they embraced. And I kind of put that when Curry won versus Boston 2022.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Where's my family? Like where's my family?" Right? Because in those moments, you want to share those moments with your family and stuff like that. So those are two things for me that stand out. Just the sheer preparation and the strong leadership at the top. Right? As bad as it ever got in Chicago with the front office and not re-signing Phil, MJ, Phil, and Scotty never let that sink into the ultimate goal, which was basketball, right?
Yeah.
Some things came out in the media and some things happened, but they've always had their things in line, and then him acknowledging his mom and saying, where's my mother at? And just looking for her in that moment where everybody's trying to focus on him. He's only worried about his mama. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I mean, that game is so iconic. I watch it every now and then. I do feel bad for Carl and John because I'm gonna tell you why I feel bad for those guys is because they never cheated the game.
No,
We can question them and all this nonsense, right? They're not perfect, but they never cheated the game. They always brought it. And they had great leadership as well. And I love Jerry Sloan. When Jerry Sloan got Alzheimer's, I followed his process to the end, and his wife had passed. And I mean, I've always held Utah to a high standard when they had Jerry Sloan and Carl and John. Now, obviously, Carl has his stuff that he deals with, but we're talking basketball. But yeah, man. So, what a moment, man. 6 championships. You hit the game-winning shot. I mean, at that moment, was there a bigger athlete in the world? I mean, you think he's better than Ali?
See, that's okay. So let me see how I can answer that.
Okay.
Ali doing what he did in a single man sport could never be compared to somebody in a team setting. Now, what I will say to Michael Jordan's advantage is that he was the best player on offense for his team and on defense. Now, granted, he was able to have assistance from teammates, but just looking at those two, knowing that Michael Jordan, he has to play both sides before getting up and down. And granted, what Ali is doing is nothing to, sleep on either. I think Jordan won that because there was some recency bias. I can say that much. And then if you look at it right, he's undefeated. Whereas Ali, unfortunately, suffered some losses, but I blame the system because they were trying to railroad him essentially because he did not want to go, do whatever in Vietnam. So
right.
I'll say this. Anybody who takes Ali, I won't argue that.
Okay.
But of course, Michael Jordan, I mean, he's just the standard. I mean, I think if you would have had if Michael Jordan would have existed in the 60s or the 70s, I think we would never heard of it. I think he came at the right absolute time. That's why, I'm gonna segue a little bit. That's why I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in conspiracies. I think things happen for a specific reason. Like it's already kind of, this is gonna happen at this time. I'm a believer in that. Like that's just me. So I would say Ali, for the ones who favor that sport. But of course, like I said, Michael Jordan, I mean, he's the standard.
I don't know what that was. Some noise outside. We were kind of talking before we went live, Who got, and you got into a little Kobe Bryant topic, and I'm a diehard Rockets fan to the core. Like, I mean, that's just my squad. But my favorite player ever is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Ever. He's the reason why I became a diehard NBA. I'm not gonna say a debater, but I enjoy talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a guy that gets overlooked. He's a guy that the media has tried to change the measuring stick, change the criteria when it comes to judging him. We talk about efficiency, missed shots, and so on and so forth. Well, 96, 98, MJ shot the ball poorly in the finals, low 40s, but he got the win. Like I told Chris Broussard, who don't want to battle me one-on-one for a whole hour. I told his ass that.
Yep.
Kobe Bryant is the only player we use efficiency on. Who cares? Listen, he's going to win by any means necessary, right? And it's about putting rings on your finger. And Kobe Bryant gets overshadowed. He gets overlooked. Obviously, that Denver, I remember being at the old Arco Arena, and he was going through all his Denver court stuff, right? And he had flew in that day into the arena and played the game. And Kings fans Kings fans are brutal toward like the Kings. There's a it's this, right?
Yeah.
And Kobe will come out early, hoop, and get his shots up and you know what I'm saying? But I think Kobe fed off that type of energy. I just remember guys in the stands calling him every name in the book, right? I mean, everything. And he never looked our way once. Now, I wasn't saying these things. The guys around me were. But he never even acknowledged us, right? He was so laser focused, tunnel vision. And then he comes down and drops, all the points. But give me your thoughts on Kobe, man. Because I've heard you break down Kobe quite a few times, and you're one of the rare guys on social media who gives him his just due. I know Scap does a great job explaining the 2000 era, because to me that's domination. Leading scorer points, points per average, all defensive teams, total points, 5 championships. I mean, if that's not domination, I don't know what is. But give me your thoughts on Kobe.
I'll tell you what, because this ain't gonna be quick. I gotta refuel, right?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Yeah, I see. What up, King Zay, Jason the Kid? I see Africa in the chat, but he's scared. He's scared to come in here. Yeah, he'll get cooked today. He's scared. Oh, Moss, let me up, my guy. Well, the link's up there. Hold on. Africa, stick around. Listen, man, I got a friend named Young Africa. He's in Africa, literally. He's in Africa, right? And he is like a LeBron James. This guy is delusional. And you would get him, but maybe next time. But Africa, just listen, bro. Like I ain't trying to do all that tonight, bro, because he be young and screaming and going crazy. I ain't trying to do all that. But
you know how I look at LeBron fans. I look at LeBron fans like those annoying little brothers who always want to tag along with the big brother. But it's like,
right,
hey, chill, like, bro, your testicles ain't stopped. All right, just calm down. Like, eventually you gonna grow, but you gotta chill. Like, bro, you still got Similac on your breath. So
right behind the ears.
I have to understand their psyche, and it's like I let them, ramble, and when they get through. Hey, I'm like Ali and George Foreman. I give them the rope a dope. Like
easy work, easy.
But this is my thing with Kobe, right? And I was watching when you had that dialogue with Chris Broussard, and I noticed that because what you said was very integral. That he's the only player they use efficiency on, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, they harp on efficiency, but then if I take another guy who has the same career field goal percentage, but he's a center, right? And he's one of my top centers of all time. I got a number 2 behind Hakeem. I'm like, well, he wasn't efficient, but he won. So I'm like, why is the efficiency so important to 2 gentlemen who won the most championships in their respective decades? And the reason why I asked that question is because they both shot over league average, right? The league average for field goal percentage in the 2000s amongst guards, not for the centers, because that's one thing they won't do. And that's something that I don't think Chris Broussard does it intentionally, but I think he kind of, likes to play like, I'm going to leave this out if he don't, bring it to the table. Now, I went and looked this up, and I'm going to give you some names. So amongst the shooting guards, you have Gilbert Arenas, Stephon Marbury, Chris Paul, my apologies. These are the point guards. So Allen Iverson, 43% for the 2000s. Gilbert Arenas, 42% for the 2000s. Stephon Marbury, 43% for the 2000s. Now, I'm not going to say Chris Paul because he came like in the middle. So I'm taking the guys who played the whole 2000s. Steve Francis, 42%. Sam Cassell, 46%. Baron Davis, 40%. And I'm not rounding up, by the way. I'm just giving you the flat out shooting percentages. Tony Parker, 49%. Mike Bibby, 44%. Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, 42%. Gary Payton, 45%. Dwayne Wade, he kind of came in the middle, but 03, I think that's enough. He shot 46.5. Steve Nash on low volume, 49%. And Deron Williams, 46%. Now, I'm going to get to the 2 guards.
Yeah. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, the 2 guards.
So, getting to the shooting guards. Hold on. I went too fast. Okay.
Especially Ray.
I don't know why they have Allen Iverson on both, I guess, for whatever reason, but he's at the top, 42%. Watch this. Kobe Bryant, 45.7. Remember that number. Dwayne Wade, 46%. T-Mac, 43%. Paul Pierce, 42%. Vince Carter, 43%. Ray Allen, 45%. Not good as Kobe. Hold on. Now, Michael Redd, 45%. Brandon Roy, 46%. Allen Houston, 45%. Jerry Stackhouse, 40%. Kevin Martin, 45%. Joe Johnson, 43%. Now, I say that to say this. I'm just using the 2000s. But if you go look at all those guys' career field goal percentages, they're either less than Kobe or right on par with him. So my question is always, if you're going to tell me that Kobe's inefficient, I won't argue that. Is Ray Allen inefficient? Because he only shoots he shoots a 0.7 percentage better than Kobe Bryant.
What's Reggie Miller? Who got?
Matter of fact, let me pull him up.
Yeah. What's Reggie and if you don't mind, Klay Thompson?
Now I know without looking, I know Klay shot 47% for a career.
Okay.
Let me get to Reggie. And the reason why I knew that, shout out to my guy Crunch. I got to send you this debate that I had with this one guy. He called me out actually, and I guess he thought he was gonna get one up over, but trust me, he regretted that instantly. But I'm gonna have to send you that one too because I forgot about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be hearing you on Crunch TV, bro. You and Taz be going at it in Crunch. I like Crunch, man. Yeah. I like you guys over there, man.
Because we had to go. We had to challenge Lowe and this other guy. They were trying.
Oh Lord! Oh my God!
Bro, they were trying so hard to convince us that the 2017 finals was not even. And I'm like, that's a goddamn lie.
Oh.
The Cleveland Cavaliers starting five outscored the Golden State Warriors starting five. Now, they're gonna respond and say, well, Golden State had the better bench. Cool. So it's an even series. If the starters for the Cavs outscored the Warriors, but the bench outscored Cleveland's bench, that's 50-50. What are y'all talking about?
Right,
Those are ridiculous. And it's something
in the goalpost.
And I know, bro, it's something I noticed. The 90% of the guys who make those arguments don't even play organized basketball.
Well, yeah, no. I agree with that. I spoke with those guys on a few different platforms, and they praise Joker and they praise stats, and I mean, listen, the way they look at basketball is not how I think there's a philosophy. I can't even say the word right now. There's a difference in philosophy and how we even look at basketball. You know, and I think that's the problem. So they're entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, Reggie Miller. Hold on, I just got away from it. Okay, Reggie Miller shoot the same percentage for a career, 47%.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Gotcha.
So yeah, when you were having that discussion with Broussard, that's what kind of annoyed me because I'm like, Chris Broussard, you normally tell the truth. But
yes.
It's like when it comes to Kobe, it's like you try to just like hyperbolize his field goal percentage, but it's like, Chris, he still won. And I got another interesting fact for you. In the 5x5, right? The score within 5 points within 5 minutes in the NBA Finals. Michael Jordan is, he's number one, 126 total points on 46.4% field goal efficiency, right? Kobe Bryant was number two at 78 till LeBron passed him in the 2020 Finals. So LeBron is currently second. I want to say he's at 92 total points, but he's shooting 31% from the field. Now, Kobe is shooting 45% in the 5x5.
Yeah.
78 total points at 45%. Now, this is the last 5 minutes. What you said earlier, crunch time, when it's time to get the job. So I'm looking like, so Chris, if you're going to harp on Kobe, are you just going to just omit LeBron shrinking in the big moment? I mean, because
I'm looking man.
If I see all these numbers, the first thing I'm going to say is, okay, in the fourth quarter, how are these guys performing from the free throw line, from the field, and turnovers, And if I see these guys outdoing the other one, well, how are you going to tell me this other dude better than him? Like,
you can't do it. People always use, they say two things when it comes to Kobe and LeBron James. Kobe Bryant is a ball hog. He's a shot jacker. But then you pull up their career shot per attempts per game, and they're right on par. LeBron's a first. He's not a shoot first player. He's a no. He's not. No, he's not. You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
If LeBron took as many shots as Kobe did, he'll average 60 points on high. Well, okay. Well, the 2015 finals, he averaged 35 points a game on 32 shots a game,
on what?
and
30?
shot below 30. He shot 39% from the field. So make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. It's like, dude, they just lie.
Hey,
it's like they're blind.
That's
crazy, man.
Mass, I got a better one for you. They say Kobe is a shot chucker, blah, 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 whatever. So I challenged them. I challenged this guy. I said, can you show me one playoff run that Kobe Bryant missed 317 shots on over 500 attempts, right? I made sure I did the math on this.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant has never missed 300 shots in a playoff run, okay? So when they say he's inefficient, I'm like, okay, what's his worst playoff run? I'll ask them that. What does that mean? I'm like, can you just tell me? Because I know LeBron James eclipsed the 300 threshold. I said, as a matter of fact, he came second to Allen Iverson in the 2001 playoff run when Allen Iverson missed like 400-something shots. I said, you don't really want to have a conversation. You know, I just have to tell them that because they'll just start ripping and reffing and all this. I'm like, listen, they say, well, Kobe Bryant shoots 41% in the playoffs. I'm like, that's all Dirk needed to beat LeBron in 2001. What are you talking about? I mean,
20, yeah. You forget that. Yeah. Dirk, Dirk shot in the low 40s in that series. So look on my screen. Jason the Kid. They don't know basketball, right? LeBron's never took 27 shots per game, but he took 32 shots a game. Who got in 2015 a game? He averaged 32 shots a game in the 15 finals.
Hey,
man, he is saying it didn't happen.
I got to take a picture of this comment because he literally said LeBron never took 27 shots.
Yeah, it's crazy. Pure lies. Pure lies. It's like they're blind. They're blind, right? And so, wow.
I would say now the reason why I have Kobe number 2 because I'm sorry, I value you guys who three-peat because if a three-peat was easy, we should have more. So people who discredit Bill Russell, I'm not doing that because Bill Russell 8-peated, and in his era, right? They always say he had the most stacked teams. I'm like, well, how the hell he got the most stacked teams if they went to 10 game 7s and he's 10-0? That don't sound like he got the most stacked teams to me. That just sounds like he was the difference maker and put his team in position to win, either by his own accord or by his presence, on the defensive side. Now, if I want to translate that to modern day, I'm like, all right, he got 5 MVPs and he's still a 5-time champion. So he has a 3-peat in there somewhere. So Bill Russell 3-peats, Kobe 3-peats with Shaq, even though they'll say, oh, well, Kobe was carried by Shaq. Shout out to Scap. I don't know how Kobe's carried. Kobe, he was responsible for 35% of the offense. Shaq
I saw that
too. So I'm like, now you got MJ and Scotty who 3-peated. So I'm like, well, damn, I'm sorry, but for you to 3-peat, you got to be up there. Now, I would be fair to Shaq, right? I'm going to say this. If Shaq would have went elsewhere and went back-to-back like Kobe, or at least one before Kobe got there, but he didn't. So
exactly.
And this is not a knock. I love Shaq. But you were the third option in the 2006 finals.
14 points a game.
Right. Kobe was never a third option. And when he went back-to-back with Al, he's the only one to go back-to-back without a top 75 teammate, right?
Yeah.
Then look at this. Jordan beat the most 60-win teams. Kobe beats the most 50-win teams. So the strength, matter of fact, SRS, right? The strength of schedule. Another stat they had significantly tougher routes. So if you had a harder path and you 3-peated, how am I going to just like omit that? And then not only did you 3-peat, they're the last 2 guys to lead the league in scoring, being an all-league defender.
Right.
Getting it done on both sides of the floor. So I'm like, well, damn. I'm seeing the production that puts Kobe number 2. But, if we listen to the analytic nerds, They're going to bring up offensive win shares and box plus minus. And what the hell does that have to do with you going out and executing when your team needs you to win?
Right. I'm glad that you mentioned the percentage of offense that Kobe generated with Shaq in the finals, because these same people would say, yeah, Joker's giving us 13 or 12 assists per game, so he's generating offense. But then when Kobe does it and lead the Lakers in assists, right, he gets no credit for that, right? It's like they pick and choose, right? You mentioned the back-to-back 09 and 10. You know, that Spurs team who swept LeBron James because LeBron James couldn't shoot, couldn't bust a basic zone defense. If LeBron just plays somewhat up to par, I think they have a chance, right? I think they have a chance. Kobe beat that same Spurs team in 5 games. Kobe beat the Orlando Magic in 5 games. Then we talk about offense and defense. Michael and Kobe would always cover up mistakes.
Yeah.
Whatever tool I always equate to building a house, right? Today I may need the hammer or the flathead or the saw or whatever, right? But the key is this though. I have a tool belt on and there's tools in my tool belt.
Yeah.
Just because I have a tool in my tool belt, I may not need that tool today. Go watch Game 7 versus Boston Celtics, right? He got 15 rebounds, right? Didn't shoot the ball well, but he did. But he did hit some big shots in the fourth quarter that put him up 4 points. And people act like Ron Artest hits that 3-point shot, puts him up 3. No, it puts him up 6.
Right.
It puts him up 6.
Right.
They're already winning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you just have to, and then check this one out who got, LeBron James IQ is on a different level. This is the same guy in 2018 in game 1. You're going to a timeout and you come out of a timeout and you don't even know you have a timeout. But your IQ is on a whole nother level. Why are you asking J.R. Smith or Ty Lue, do you have a timeout? Aren't you LeBron James? Weren't you flipping plays in the 8th grade and reversing plays baseline with J.J. Redick? But you don't know if your team got a timeout? See, these are things that they don't want to talk about, right? They want to just sweep shit under the goddamn rug. Well, guess what? I'm not doing it, right?
No.
I'm not doing that. And so, come on, man. This is crazy, bro. See,
This
now
is
you got
what
me
I
on.
love. This is what I love about Kobe's Game 7, but I got a slight correction. What you said about 2008, that wasn't Kobe Bryant. That was Alonzo Harris from Training Day, because that man was surgical with that yachting. Okay, the way they were playing Kobe, game 1, I was watching this. They were like, okay, we're gonna let Kobe go off and we're gonna stop the team. This is the difference. You can't allow Kobe to be a high volume scorer because he's not going to play into that game. Now, he's going to take the shots, but he's also going to keep his team in rhythm. That's the difference, because he practiced those moments, right? LeBron, on the other hand, does not want to be a high volume scorer because he doesn't have those go-to moves. And when you go under screens and make him overthink, right? That's not playing into his strength. That's playing into his weakness, because his strength, and I know his fans are going to love this. He's at his best when he's downhill. Got it. Yeah. What else can you do? Now, you're a streaky shooter at best. So watch this, Mr. Matt. We're going to take their logic, their analytical numbers. Well, the analytics say past the rim, LeBron James is a 35, 37, 34% shooter before you get to the 3-point line. Okay, well, the numbers say at the rim, he's shooting 80%. Got it. We're going to go under the screens. Tony Allen has said this. Bruce Bowen has said this. Has said this. Iguodala has said this. Shane Battier has said this.
Yeah, Shane Battier, yeah.
All the top defenders say, we're going to live with the results. Now, when the Spurs tried that with Kobe, he lit him up so bad that Pop scrapped the whole game plan and said, no, Bruce, you hound him. Awesome, do it. You can hound him. But Bruce, you cannot dictate to Kobe, because Kobe can hit you in a myriad of ways. And it gets back to the fundamentals. Kobe's going to get in the triple threat, right? Now he's already got you in a fear-based mindset from what he did to you in game 1. So what is your mentality? You're going to jump at everything. So he pump fakes you, gets you off your feet. Now he tells take 2 or 3 more little dribbles. Now either Tim Duncan got to step up or Boris Diaw got to rotate over. What does that do now? You open up Pau Gasol, or you open up Andrew Bynum because he's gotten past his man. The Spurs had nobody who could stay in front of Kobe. That's the difference. Now, taking it to Game 7, because I love this game. They always talk about, oh, Kobe shot 26% from the field. Okay, what else did he do? What else did he do? What do you mean? I'm like, okay, there's other things besides scoring. So,
right, like, what are we doing?
He was the leading rebounder for his team, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Powell had more than him. I think Kobe had 15 and Powell had like 17, something like that. But
awesome. He led him in assists, led him in steals. Ray Allen, right? He held Ray Allen to 3 or 14 shooting in that game. Yeah. The greatest shooter of all time at that time, because Steph Curry hadn't got there. So even if we watch this, let's use their analytical numbers, right? Look at the Lakers' defensive rating as a team. I think it was like 101 something. Awesome. Kobe's individual net defensive rating was 99. That's showing me that his defensive prowess was better than what the team was doing. So even if he wasn't shooting, even if his efficiency wasn't good, I'm like, nobody shot efficient. Powell shot 37% in that game. Ron Artest shot too. Right. I'm like, no. I'm like, who was efficient? Like, y'all keep harping on this, but clearly what Kobe showed me, he had a Bill Russell game. I don't have to score. I can do other things. And the results were what? A championship.
Facts, man. And I'm so glad you mentioned Pau Gasol, because we often talk about making teammates better and leadership at the top. And there's a game that sticks out to me between Pau, Kobe, and Phil Jackson. Boston beats the Lakers in Game 6. They blow them out right in 2008. Ariza and Bynum doesn't play. And Jim Gray is interviewing Kobe Bryant and says, what will it take to get you back here next year? Kobe's crying. He's emotional. He says, I'm going to get back in the gym tomorrow. I'm going to work myself until exhaustion, right? I mean, until I can't go no more. Yeah. I was so impressed by the difference. The difference in player mindset of Pau Gasol from 2008 to 2010. Mm-hmm. You can tell that behind the scenes, they roughed him up. There's a clip where Phil Jackson is punching him coming to the bench and trying to say, like, let's go. Kobe in his, like, damn near want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, yeah, Kobe tactic wasn't always the best tactic, making the teammates better. But Phil Jackson did say on the second stint when he came back to the Lakers, Kobe had obviously been around Jordan and picked his brain a lot more because he learned how to motivate his teammates in different ways, meaning I got to use different tactics and different things for different players. I can't motivate Artest the same way I motivate Pau or Derek or Sasha, right? I'm going to need Sasha to hit 2 big free throws in Game 7 at the free throw line. I'm going to need D-Fish in Orlando in overtime, right, to hit some big threes. I'm going to need Pau to be physical versus Kevin Garnett, Kendrick Perkins, and Rasheed Wallace. And so when they say, high IQ and making guys better and being a leader, I don't think there's not too many better examples. Just go look at 2008, soft mentality, Pau Gasol, because he was soft that series. And then fast forward to Orlando and the Boston. And I highlight Boston because Boston was such a physical team on the front line. Like Doc Rivers, even his fourth big guy was Glenn Baby, right? But he played Rasheed, Perk, and KG. And Pau Gasol outplayed those guys.
Wait,
outplayed those guys.
James Posey, or was he gone?
I think Posey was in 2008. I think Posey was gone by then, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was gone by then.
You still made a valid point because if you lose James Posey, but you pick up Rasheed Wallace, to me, that's like a up.
It's an upgrade. And so I gotta highlight Kobe's leadership style because listen, we're not always gonna be friends, right? In sports, but we all have one goal, and that's to win. Yeah. And I was just highly impressed with Pau's mentality. Yeah, going into that series and how he wasn't going to let Kevin Garnett mentally break him or physically break him, right? Like they show, like there's clips floating online where in between timeouts, Kobe's in his ear, and you get like Kobe's all business, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Pau's kind of laughing, and Kobe kind of like hits his knee and says, "Hey, no laughing, like come on, Because you want to know why? Before you take it back, if we lose this series, they not talking about you, pal. They're going to ask, why did I get it done? Kobe Bryant. And so Kobe understood the moment. Kobe understood what was at stake. He understood the weight, what he carried, right? Like, listen, Kobe Bryant ran from Shaquille O'Neal. Let him go. I got this. Listen, I got this. How many players are going to run from Shaquille O'Neal, right? Most guys will say, no, please stay here. Like, I don't want that pressure. And so, yeah.
And then if you think about it, see, the media had created this narrative, right? Because Kobe was like the polar opposite of Magic. Magic was the, smiling, friendly, gregarious, approachable. Well, Kobe was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna stay in my own lane. I ain't. So that kind of rubbed the media the wrong way. Now, to MJ's credit, I think the first three-peat MJ, he was more, talkative and like with the media. But I think when he even started to see the little mind games they would play, he kind of just distanced himself from everybody except Ahmad Rashad because he trusted him. So I think Kobe took that same approach, and they were kind of like, oh, you're going to be like that? Well, okay. Well, we're going to be 2 times as hard on you. All right, cool. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, we know that's what you guys tried to do. Like you purposely tried to diminish his legacy by saying, oh, he can't get it done without Shaq. He couldn't get it done without Shaq. Can't win without Shaq. Even when Shaq won with Miami, right? I'm gonna segue a little bit. We don't have this criteria for MVPs because that's another to me, I just call a media award, because if you don't have a clear criteria like you do for the scoring title, the assist title, and all the other ones, then I'm kind of questioning, like, well, is this just a media-based award based off what you like and what the player is doing? Because I'm not understanding. And I'm looking at Westbrook, right? Had a phenomenal 2017. First player to have the triple-double since the Big O. You were a 6 seed. He gets the MVP. All right, cool. Go to Jokic. Was it 2022?
6 seed.
Had a phenomenal season, putting up all these astronomical numbers. But you get the MVP as what? A 6 seed. Now, let's revise history. Let's go to 05-06. That Lakers team wasn't even predicted to make the playoffs. Just looking at the roster, because when they put those preseason polls out, they're looking at the talent on the roster, right? Kobe Bryant didn't even have anybody remotely close to probably who was on that Cavs team? Close to Jonas and Oscar.
Yeah, Big Z.
He didn't have nobody on that level. Yet he willed that team to the playoffs. He's not worthy of an MVP. Now, everybody going to talk about Steve Nash. Okay, 04-05, I won't argue that. But 05-06,
right.
LeBron had an MVP case. Dirk had an MVP case. But I'm looking at it like Kobe Bryant had a team that wasn't even supposed to go to the playoffs. He don't get MVP consideration. Now I see the body. So now that's telling me, okay, y'all had an agenda against this guy the entire time, but that's not going to manipulate me. Okay. So coming back to Kobe, the year before, but Powell got there, but before he got there, right? A lot of people don't even know this. You can go to Basketball Reference and Crunch. I'm going to shout out Crunch because he pulled this up. When Andrew Bonham, before Andrew Bonham went down, Kobe Bryant had the Lakers at the number 1 seed in the 2007-2008 season. The only reason they dropped to number 4, because in the West, remember, you lose 2 games, you're a 4th or 3rd seed. They got Pau Gasol after that. So I'm like, wait a minute. He ain't got no All-Stars, no All-NBA, no top 75. And you got this team at the number 1 seed? I'm like, damn.
Was that when he hurt his knee in Memphis and Kobe fell into it? Remember Kobe fell back into Bryant's knee and Kobe made that face like, oh, no. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, of course, he wins the MVP that year. But I'm like, who else besides not named Michael Jordan is going to have a team like that at the number 1 seed? And the only reason why I'm saying Michael Jordan is because he went 27-11 without Scottie Pippen. So I don't see anybody else up amongst the top 10 that could pull that. Maybe Magic Johnson, like I said, maybe. But I'm like, ain't too many games. So I'm just like, I see the games that the media plays, so that's why me personally, I don't put that much stock in the MVP. The MVP is cool.
We can't.
If you don't win the championship with the MVP, to me, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, it means nothing. And there were seasons where Chris Paul, I'm not no Chris Paul fan. I mean, he's good. He's had individual seasons greater than what Nash had in Phoenix, and he's never got an MVP award. And so I don't know what. Listen, they told me that Kevin and Steph could never win an MVP award. They play with each other. It's too lopsided. But then you give LeBron James 2 MVP awards in Miami. I mean, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Y'all tell me that Shaq carried Kobe, but then you blame Kobe for the 2004 finals. Which one is it? Which one is it, man? I mean, the level of hypocrisy from these guys in the media. Listen, man, I'm here in Sacramento. I'll be on the Kings railroad station, bro. I'll be at the arena. Like, I was just in Memphis in the Kings game. I'm on the other side of the court talking to the Memphis reporters, bro. Like, let me tell you something, bro. Like, when I go to these games, I talk my way anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were in Boston at the Boston game, New Orleans. I mean, like, we travel everywhere. And so their bias, let me tell you, man, there are real live friendships behind the scenes, narratives, and agendas. And like you said, we cannot put a lot of credence in these man-made awards. You mentioned Westbrook in 2017 with the OKC Thunder. So he averaged, 31, 11, and 10. But James Harden averaged, 32, 11, and 8. So 2 rebounds as the number 3 seed. Yeah, because Houston beat them in the first round in 5 games, so they were the 3 seed. I thought James Harden was MVP, and I'm a Rockets fan. I mean, I hate James Harden now, but back then, I mean, he was a definition of MVP in my eyes. Yeah. So yeah, it's biased, man. It's biased. So I got you. If it's okay, maybe like another 5-10 minutes, and then I got to cut out. But I got to get your thoughts on one last thing, because again, fans will, for me, my top 5 players, MJ, Kareem, Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Magic, top 5. And then they'll say, well, why is LeBron James on your top 5? And I always point to 2011. For me, that takes him off the table. Not that he was on the table anyways, but that takes him off the table. What happened in 2011? I mean, the ultimate meltdown. I mean, people say that he did it on purpose. People say he couldn't recognize his own defense. He couldn't shoot. He seemed mentally checked out at times. But but even though that could be the case, I don't want to say it, because for me, that's giving him a cop-out. No. His game was not ready. Yeah. Right? We need to highlight his game, right? Yeah. Just like Stephen A. Smith said after that finals when LeBron was talking about, signing to an NFL deal, because remember the NBA went to like a short season that year, the next season. And Steven came on TV and says, LeBron James, you know what I'm saying? You got champions being called champion, blah, blah. No. His game came up short. And so I want you to, if you can, real quick, dive into his game. How incomplete of a player was he in 2011 to where he could not overcome some of these obstacles that, we think a lot of players of his magnitude should deal with easy?
So this is what's, it's kind of, I would say, semi-complicated, because and matter of fact, before I go, let me acknowledge my guys, Osi and Chaz. Hey, them young brothers right there, bro. Their basketball acumen is like up there with,
come on, anytime, bro. That's okay. So is that Taz or Chaz?
Yeah, no, Chaz.
Chaz be on Crunch TV?
Yeah.
No. I like him. Okay. Because my bad, bro. He fact checks guys in real time, and the way he looks at basketball and the way that he articulates, I'd be a late man just listening, like, God damn, this motherfucker cooking. So no. Hey, Chaz and OC, bro, you guys are welcome anytime, bro. Hey, and for some reason, y'all tell Crunch Time I'm subscribed to his channel, and Crunch knows me, but I don't get no pop-ups. I don't get no notifications, and I can't never come on any of their lives. I just can't. I don't know what that's about, but y'all tell Crunch, man, let me on that motherfucker, man.
I'll let him know. But but so before I start to unpack this. So like I said, I love basketball at the end of the day. So when you're playing good, I'm going to acknowledge and I'm going to salute you. This is what I still cannot put this mathematical quantum physics equation together. So you play like a man with his head on fire against the Boston Celtics, significantly better defense than the Mavericks. You play the same way against the Chicago Bulls, right? Significantly better defense than the Dallas Mavericks. Now, you get to the big stage, right? Now what sets in is two things. Did you let your foot off the gas? Did you just think you were going to just breeze on through because y'all went up 2-1? Because I'm going to tell you something. And like you said, with details, I was watching this game with my father. God rest his soul. He transitioned in 2022. But in 2011, we were watching this. And he said this verbatim. Dwayne Wade had just made a baseline jumper. They went up 15. And LeBron, and I think D-Wade started punching LeBron. No.
Yeah,
LeBron Wade in the chest, right? My father said verbatim, he said, they're going to lose this game. I'm like, man, Pop, they up 15, said, watch. And as soon as he said that, Dirk got the cooking. Jet got the Marion got the cooking. And what they were doing, right, every possession, they were pushing the ball. And it was either ending in a foul or they were making the shot. And I'm looking like they're chopping this lead down. It's from 15. It's from 12. It's 9. It's 10. And then when I'm looking, right, LeBron, he over here kind of like he waiting for Wade. You know, D-Wade, he doing his thing, but it's kind of like you let your foot off the gas. Now you get all they need is a little window. You gave them that. Now, this is what I said. Had they took a 2-0 lead, I believe they would have been. I think they still would have got one game because all you need is one game in Dallas. You just need one game. And I believe D Wade would have had the mental fortitude to be like, "Hey, we gonna get one game in Dallas. I come hell or high water. Like we're not leaving Dallas without a game." When they lost that game too, I was like, that right there turned the series. Now shout out to D Wade in game 3. He came out played phenomenal, but in that game 4, right? This is another what you say, those pivotal moments. LeBron, how do you score 8 points?
8 points. Yeah.
Freaking NBA Finals game. But wait a minute. You score 0 in the 4th quarter? What?
Yeah.
Now, I'm of the mindset, like some people say he threw the series. I look at it and then I'm like, hold on. He got on there and they had a what you call a premature celebration. So I'm like, nah, he didn't throw this series. This is what happened. He thought it was going to be a cakewalk, not understanding. No, when you get to the finals, every possession counts, every rebound counts, every free throw counts, every turnover counts. And then the Dallas Mavericks got in his head. When we were watching this, right, there were plays Sean Marion was scoring, and you could see his mouth, like, you on the court and you bust a dude, pause, no deal.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, he giving you that work. And then what did Jason Terry say after
called him out? He can't go me.
He was like, hey, let's see if you keep it up for the whole 7-game series. Like, whoa, bro. You mean to tell me this man gonna call you out on the finals and you don't put that up there on your bulletin board? Like, nah, hey, let somebody say that to a Kobe Bryant, a Michael Jordan, a Magic Bird. You know what they're gonna say? Hey, F the game plan.
Right.
I got him the whole time he on the when he go to the when they call timeout, I'm gonna hand him his Gatorade. That's how you set a tone, bro.
Yeah.
I did not see that with LeBron. I'm seeing him just froze. Like he won't D-Wade
literally freeze up.
And I'm like, bro, you on the biggest stage? Like, wait a minute. All we kept hearing, you don't have no help. You don't have no help. You got a freaking super team and you not showing up.
Listen, JJ Barrera and Terry had more impact in that series than you can't put it into words.
Max, I got a question, bro. Out
Sure,
of everybody
yeah,
everybody in your top 10, what team has made their opponent that you have in your top 10 go from 27 points per game to 17? Even better, if they scored 10 or 30 points per game all the way to 20. Who had a 10-point drop-off and literally scored 0 points in the entire 5x5 for that series?
In my top 10, nobody. They may not have shot the ball well or may not have scored their season total, but the drop off was not significant. And I'm gonna take it a step further and I'm gonna piggyback. What up, Tony C? I'm gonna piggyback off what you said. They've never been outplayed by somebody off the bench, right? I mean, LeBron had the luxury of literally, because the Mavericks were not trapping him, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
They may have trapped him at times because it's basketball, but they weren't trapping him, right? I mean, he could play one-on-one. I mean, listen, he had Jason Kidd sometime in the post, not even hitting rim. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, yeah. And then you mentioned Jason Terry, from Seattle. Shout out to him. Yeah, he called him out and says, he can't guard me. Got the championship tattoo, whatever he had, you know what I'm saying? He let the wings out in game 5 and just the ultimate meltdown. And so for me, that takes it off. For me, that takes him off the table automatically. You're now my top 10 because to whom much is given, much is required. Period. I pay you for this. I'm not paying Mario Chalmers to do this, right? I'm not. And then so again, you can't have it both ways. You can't tell me that KD and Steph and the 2017 Warriors, I'm overmatched. Oh my God, it's scary hours. But then when you're in the same position KD's in Miami, you can't do what he did. Which one is it? Why are we changing the criteria? This is crazy. And so, yeah, so I'm always interested to see people's opinion on 2011. And like you said, I'm going to take a good team. There's a reason why some of these college teams like the Big East or the ACC, they get into the tournament and then they face one of these mid-majors who actually they just play good basketball, right? They cut, they move, they do everything with a purpose. And next thing you know, they lose them by 1 and 2 points because they lost to a better team, Yep. But yeah, man, it's just that's the biggest meltdown to me in sports. I don't care what nobody says. And and then you couple that with 2014. You lose by a record margin in 2014. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait, I want to wrap on. I want to wrap on 2014.
It's good, bro. Go ahead.
We know, like you said, it was a record margin, right? And shout out to Chaz because me and him, we actually, I want to say this. We pretty much tag team Low because Low was trying to come up in TikTok live and try to come up here and just, be all intellectual and, well, I'm going to assume this. Hey, what Mutombo say? So,
yeah.
You know they love those numbers, right? So when we go to game score, do you know that LeBron scored over 60% of his points when they were already being blown out by 15 or more points? Now, I'm saying that to say this. On the surface, it looks like he played phenomenal.
28 a game, high percentage, yeah.
But when he was being guarded by Kawhi, right?
Talk about it, bro.
Kawhi was his parole officer. Kawhi said, no, if you want to dribble left, you got to get my permission. If you want to dribble right, you got to get my permission. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to let you post up. Now, just to segue a little bit, because this is the same thing I have to explain to people when they say, well, Will Chamberlain put up 30 points. But guess what? They lost. I said, Greg Popovich would incrementally put Kawhi on LeBron to do what? Let the team extend their lead. Once they get up by 15 or 16, all right, Kawhi, your job done. I don't need you in foul trouble. Then they will put Boris Diaw or one of the other.
Great point, bro. Great point, man. Wow. I said the same thing a couple weeks ago. Great point.
Yeah. So now it's like when everybody that comes in the live, they start saying, why do you say LeBron had a bad series? I said, okay, is LeBron delivering when his team needs it? What do you mean? Mm-hmm. Is he delivering when the score is within 4 or 5 points? I said, because when it's a 10-point or a 5-point margin, I'm like, he's not even giving you a point per game. I said, but then when they're already up by 17, well, now he's putting up all these numbers. Okay, you're not stopping anybody. Well, what is LeBron supposed to do? I'm like, ain't he the best player? I'm like,
Right.
why y'all asking me these questions when he's supposed to be the best player? I'm like, I'm not comprehending the logic. It's like they'll tell me, well, LeBron was the best player. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, who was he stopping? It's a team game. Well, which one is it? Because now you're confusing me. Like,
it's confusing because when he wins, it's because of him. But when they lose, they blame everybody else. But when you talk about LeBron James scoring his points when they're down, 15, 20 points, here would be my question to that, or my counter to that. I'm not asking LeBron James to do it all by himself. But when a team goes on a run and the game is kind of going this way from you, MJ, Kobe, you Tim Duncan's, Kawhi to a certain degree in his heyday, get your butt to the free throw line. You stop that run, right? Stop the clock. Remember on Darkstown, we said the jab in boxing, make them reset, right? And so IQ, right? I go back to 1998, Bulls down by 2 points in the last 2 minutes of the game. MJ wasn't shooting jump shots. He got to the free throw line. Phil calls timeout, gives Jordan a little bit of a break. He comes back, knocks down 2 free throws, and then he does it again, right? Yeah. And so, again, I'm not asking LeBron James to be high and mighty and score all 20 points, but there's ways to stop runs in the NBA, right? Because sometimes me just getting 2 free throws, stopping their momentum, speaks volume. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so, again, the lack of IQ, the lack of awareness, no accountability. You just trade D'Lo. So now when you leave the Lakers, you're putting them either further and further in shambles. And then they'll say, well, when he leaves, the team is nothing. Yeah, because you left him with nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so you just can't have it both ways. But when he wins, though, he gets all the credit, right? I've never seen somebody like Kyrie Irving play the way he did in 2016, despite everything that happened. And he gets no credit for the most part. I mean, he gets credit. I'm not going to lie, but he doesn't get his just due. It's all LeBron James and blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. This is crazy.
Yeah. So.
But, yeah, man, I really appreciate the conversation, man. We got to do this a lot more often. It's old school basketball, just normal basketball talk, right? No narratives, no agendas, And I like the fact that you're fair, right? You call a spade a spade. If Kobe's wrong, Kobe's wrong. If MJ's wrong, MJ's wrong, right? And so, people call us haters and blah, blah, blah. Since I'll be 42 years old, since when has facts? Because if you can't come on and tell me what I lied about, then how is it hate? Now we get away from the truth? Come on, man.
I'm going to do you one better. I never heard the term hater in sports before 2003. Now, post 2003, all of a sudden I started hearing hating, hater this, hater that, right? But before that, and I'm gonna go on record and say this. Now, I don't necessarily think it's how people say, well, Kobe got carried by Shaq, blah blah blah. I don't believe that, but I will say, to me, Kobe's style of play, like his mentality, I think that was like the vast majority of that downfall. And as a matter of fact, if you want to, I don't mind discussing that in more detail on another show. But just for the surface, I say, there were some things Kobe did from my perspective that kind of was a detrimental to the team. But
of course, I agree 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%, man. Yeah.
We're having these discussions, and these guys, well, what about Kobe? I'm like, I blame Kobe. Okay. Well, I'm like, no, see, the difference is I can hold Kobe accountable, right?
Of course.
They don't want to hold LeBron accountable. And I'm asking them, like, if I'm able to hold Kobe accountable, but when I'm asking you about LeBron, it's this, it's that, it's up, it's down, it's left, it's right. Well, what you're telling me is, indirectly, you're telling me Kobe Bryant's a better player, because you can't just say, nah, man, it's LeBron's fault. Because every finals, 2007, oh, he was 22. He couldn't do this, yada, yada. Well, somehow Magic won when he was 20, and Kareem, not Magic, but Kobe won at 21. But remember, LeBron's too young. Tim Duncan won at 22. Cool. 2011, well, he didn't want to step on D-Wade's toes. Well, why the hell did he go to Miami? I mean, I'm
right.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
It's funny that you mentioned who got? It's funny you mentioned Kobe winning in the 2000 versus Pacers. I saw a clip today with Jalen Rose, and Jalen was talking about when Shaq fouls out in overtime, right? In 2000, was it Game 4? Yeah, Game 4.
All the smoke.
Yes, all the smoke. And you know what's funny is I never knew this, right? He says when Kobe does this, it's to the Lakers. Yep. He's saying, no, hey, no, listen, I got this. Relax, because everybody's like, no, bro, I thought that was to the Pacers. He says, no. That's to the Lakers.
I didn't
know. That's crazy, bro. That is insane.
And man, so I'm gonna do you one better.
Whew, this
is something else LeBron fans can't stand. Kobe Bryant set a record in that Game 4. That man went 4 or 5 from the field because you know they love numbers. Shot 80% from the field in an overtime. LeBron ain't never done that. And LeBron been to 10 finals. 10 finals. Never shot 80% in an overtime.
Well, I mean, we saw LeBron in overtime in 2018 when he quit in 18, right? After he Game 1? Yeah. That's right. Because that's when Kyrie got hurt. That's when Kyrie hurt his knee. Yeah. Now, see, this is why we need to do more shit, bro. 2013, Game 6 overtime. They don't tell you that Ray Allen even played well in overtime. They skipped that.
Yeah, Chaz pointed that out.
Dude, they even skipped that.
Yep.
They'll say LeBron was great in overtime. No, Ray Allen.
Yeah,
Ray Allen. Like, what are we doing? Now, listen, I'm fair. In Game 7, LeBron James was great in Game 7. Yep. To me, he was hitting perimeter shots. The Spurs says, beat me for the perimeter. And guess what? You tip your cap and you say, he got me. It's okay. I can't acknowledge that, But, yeah, it's crazy, man. So, yeah, man. So, we'll definitely do another one, man. And also, too, we want to get Chaz and your boy OC on here as well. Yeah. They're more than welcome to come and get their shit off. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly who they are. I've heard them on Crunch Channel quite a few times, and it'd be you and those two guys, man, and y'all be cooking, bro. And Crunch, y'all be cooking. You feel me? Like, y'all got quick counters, and you can tell that you guys think the game and you've done your homework and research, and you kind of know what the cliche responses are, so you're quick with it, with your trigger. So I appreciate that, man. But yeah, we'll definitely do another one, man, for sure.
Hey, let me acknowledge y'all too, man, because I think this is my first time seeing you, like when you came to our platform on Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best. But I think it was like back in 2021, like it'd be you, it'd be Ticket, it would be Hollywood Firm, the guy who I think his name James. He says LeBron is the role player, like he's a role player.
That's Noah Sportsboard James. He's a role player.
So, bro, I would tap into y'all lives because it would be the little dude CJ and another one. Yeah, always
CJ LeBron fan.
LeBron and all this. And like, bro, y'all were the ones that kind of made me start getting in my bag because I'm like, oh wait, these dudes kind of, they chop it up. So I'm like, damn, let me kind of, start doing it. So let me say, bro, y'all actually were already doing something that kind of said, hey, bro, get on your shit, because the way these guys talking, you know what I'm saying? I was like, so now that we actually done, like making face to face, I want to let you know that, man. Hey, I salute y'all guys as well, because what y'all were doing,
appreciate that, bro.
We got to kill the cap. We have to make sure that we are holding them to the standard that everybody else, because what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to let somebody who never played organized basketball try to give me numbers to justify whether who's the better player when my own two eyes are showing me that this guy is not better than this guy over here.
For sure. Did you see my video with I was in Memphis, and me and Herm went to the Memphis and Kings game because he lives in Memphis. And so we linked up out in Memphis maybe like a month and a half ago. So but yeah, man, those Ticket TV old videos, bro. I'm talking like Hoop got during COVID, we couldn't go nowhere, right? And when I say these conversations kept me busy, I'm not gonna say it saved my life because that's just doing too fucking much. But it kept me from losing my mind because we couldn't go nowhere. And listen, man, we would be on the panel for damn near 10 hours at a time, right? Yeah. And like you said, it makes you think the game. It makes you sharpen your skills. It makes you go do some research. And if you wasn't fast on your feet and triggers, James can talk your ear off. I've seen you with Ticket, I think, a few times. I know Ticket can talk with the best of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, it was those. Listen, let me tell you, man, like we've been at this shit for years, long time. So, yeah, man, for sure, man. It's all good, bro. It's all good.
Because as a matter of fact, if I can find it, even if I can't find it, bro, I got two guys.
Yeah.
I debated Chill Town on my guy Omar on his panel and on Ralph panel. Now, Chill Town to his credit, but bro, when I hit him with them jabs and them right crosses, he didn't have no response. And the thing is, I told him, I said, chill. I'm not these other little dudes you be talking to, okay?
Right.
Everything that you saying is, I'm like, chill, bro. That's not gonna work on me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And
man.
If I can find it, I'll put it up. But I think it's still on their TikTok. But I just wanted y'all to know, like, yeah, I know what Chill Town about, and I'm like, he knows
smooth operator, dude.
Yeah.
I cooked Mars one time on. He says Joker is a better passer than John Stockton. So I cooked him on that topic. That was kind of easy. And Big Ox, he's actually he's from this area. I think he lives in Seattle, Portland right now. But yeah, we had a couple of debates, man. We'll talk about stuff like that off the air because I have an opinion about certain things. But I'm a man first. So I don't want to bash or say anything about nobody, man. But yeah, man. And certain platforms who've got and certain people, the way they push out these things in their content and what they're saying and doing, that adds fuel to the fire of why the NBA is going this way. In my opinion, you got a lot of guys who are box score watchers and they hear these platforms who got, a lot of subscribers. And so they take it and they run with it. And it's mostly the younger crowd. It's not us older folks, who actually know the game. And that's why when you mentioned Chilltown, I'm like, I'll be so disappointed because he knows better. He knows better.
Yeah, he knows better.
He knows better. But he knows basketball. I have to give him that. Yeah. And he's not a bad guy. I actually like him. It's just his LeBron James stuff is just not my cup of tea, but he's cool dude. But yeah, man, we'll wrap again. We'll get your guys on here for sure. Let's get your guys on here, man. And yeah, man. I mean, we can take this shit on the road and go. I mean, dude, I'm always in for a good debate, or conversation, and so yeah, so for sure, man. Yeah, we'll definitely do it again, man.
Hey, bro, I'm about to send you this one dude. You gonna know who he is, like you said. Just respecting the platforms, and I know YouTube is starting to get a little sensitive. Hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna send you this, right? So this dude, I was actually a replacement. I didn't even have time to prep, right? Bro, when I tell you I annihilated him, it was just like Mortal Kombat. It was fatality.
Fatality, finish him. Okay,
bro, finished him.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
you'll see it as soon as it pops up.
No. I keep. You see me? Let me see. You sent it right now?
Yeah. I just sent it to you.
Hold on. Don't go in.
Yeah.
I got you, bro. Yeah. I know that is.
Bro, watch this.
I'm gonna watch it after you got there. Yeah.
Now, bro, mind you, I was called as a replacement. Imagine if I would have had time to prepare. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, for sure, man. For sure. Okay, man. I'll reach out to you soon.
Indeed, brother. Hey,
all right, matter of fact, yes.
Send me. I'm trying to think. Who was the other guy? Not Broussard, like the guy you debated. It was somebody else you told me earlier. It slipped my mind.
Let's see, Broussard. I got so many videos on there. I debated. Was he's on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy's name though. I forgot because you told me you had like a little dialogue with him too. It's just slipping my mind. But if I think about it, I'll remind you.
Yeah. Just let me know, and then I'm gonna reach out to Take It. I haven't reached out to him yet. I got his direct information. I'm gonna have him send because his old channel got deleted or messed up or something like that. So we got to find that whole Chris Bard because remember on that thing I sent you, it's Chris Copeland played for the Bucks and Pacers, and then it's Chris because Chris and their both name is Chris. They're like this. They're real cool because Chris Copeland is like the G League coach for the Bucks. He's assistant coach for the out there. Yeah. But I'll find it and I'll get you the full clip, man, so you can watch it. It's actually good content. Chris does give good insight. I'm not gonna lie. He like he's an open book. He's an open book. Yeah, for sure, man. All right, big dog. I'm gonna check you out, and then if you think of that name, then just shoot me a text.
Bet I got you, man. Enjoy your night,
for
bro.
sure, man. All right, everybody.